Have you ever tried to scalp the market, but every single time you scalp the market seems like it's moving against you? Trust me, I've been there. And this is exactly why on my YouTube channel, I talk about how to scale small accounts, how to grow small accounts, and talk about psychology, precise entries, and overall how you have to create a trading plan and how to follow the trading plan to a T. Well, in this video, you're going to learn a 1 to 5 minute scalping strategy that I use that completely changed my trading career. And believe it, in just minutes, I was able to catch a quick $9,000 in profit. And I will show you a live trade I took, making $9,000 in just minutes in one trade. And today I'm breaking exactly step by step how this scalping strategy works. So by the end of this video, if you don't skip past anything, you will know from A to Z the entire roadmap of how you can scale and grow any account or pass any prop firms with this model here. So if you're serious about improving your scalping game, comment down below what you are struggling in so I can give you guys insights on that and hopefully a video. But other than that, let's go ahead and lock in. Okay, so let's talk about the tech stack that we're going to be implementing in this video. First and foremost, there's two different scenarios that you guys can go for when it comes to actually trading with the broker or with the prop firm. I highly recommend Board Funded because they have a built-in trading journal, which is a trading plan that I was able to build based off a trading journal, which literally helped me analyze my perfect strategies, helped me realize what sessions I should be trading and what assets I should be trading. So Board Funded is going to be great for that. And also Board Funded has built-in AI, which will help you create your trading plan instead of doing it all by yourself. Another option, or you guys can go with both, is trading the broker. So FXAN is who I use. Reason being is very low spreads when it comes to trading oil and 30 and NASDAQ and Bitcoin. But the thing is, if you're looking to scale an account, use small funds, get bigger profits, I would highly suggest going with Board Funded. Otherwise, if you want to just grow your account at your own risk, you can go ahead, eliminate all of that with FXAN. All of the stuff is down below if you need access to that. Other than that, we're going to be using TradingView to do all of our markups and analyze the charts. And then the final thing is, for the final confirmation, we're going to be implementing our FXAN Indicator. This is great for higher executions, better entry confirmations as well. So let's talk about what is the steps of this strategy. All right, let me show you guys a good ass entry. Hopefully this plays out so perfectly. So right now I am using FXAN to trade. Once again, I have two accounts, right? One of the accounts we're already at $3,000. That's me using their MT Forex. The other account is at $161. We're literally starting fresh with the FXAN, which is the one through ActTrader. So I'm going to be placing my trade off the smaller account and showing you guys that play. This setup right here is what I am going for, and I'm going to explain it in a little bit because we're like close to it. Boom, we just hit the 5 minute. Let's go ahead and get in this jump. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and place a very small entry because I don't have a lot of funds in this trade. So we're just going to do a micro lot, and that is pretty much all we can afford. Now I'm gonna go into this trade and let's go ahead and adjust our take profit. My take profit is literally going to be set at the mark around, let's see what we're looking at, around 43,620. That is where we're looking for our TP to be. Go ahead and modify that trade. Now we're all set. We're good to go. I'm also going to take this trade on my prop firm just because it is a solid entry and I don't want to miss any of these setups on any of my accounts. So let's go ahead and take this one for a 1 lot standard, and we're going to long it as well. Let's see, take profit is going to be a little different than where we're at on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit take profit. We're going to put our take profit at about roughly around 40, what is it, 43,613, roughly around there, which is giving us roughly about what we're looking at, $11,000. Okay, that's a lot. That is a lot, but this is a great entry. I just see this playing out so well. So we're in two positions right now. We have our position locked in the personal account, $100 account, as well as our funded account, We got Henkel Trade Personal, and then we also have Board Funded as our funded account. Let's see where this goes. Let's see what we can make, and let's see how much money we lose, or let's see how much money we win. All right, so we are literally right there in the market. Like I just told you, the move is active. So right now, I'm gonna close out this trade because it's solid. We literally profit off of that one on the personal account. We are doing great. We are up about $10 right now, and it is going pretty darn good. So as you can see, position close, solid entry, perfect setup, tight entries. Can't get any better than that. Can't get any better than that. So that was my very first trade from this account. Looking at it, you see close position. We're at $10 on that. Not a bad first trade. And then on my other account that we're working on the live streams, we're still doing good. Showing you guys the actual trades here. Let me show you the trades here. It's not working, but let's go ahead and click it. Nope, that's not it. Let's go to history. There we go. And you guys still see that this account was at $100, and we're still working on this account currently in a Bitcoin trade right now. So just leaving that one solid from there. But that is also being said, going into board, you guys see that now we have it integrated into our trading journal. So once again, I'm gonna know exactly if this is going to be a solid strategy or not, even though I already know the answer to that because I use something like this to create my trading plan. So that whole thing works out perfectly. So step one, finding the direction of the range. 15, 20, 2 to 5 minute candle bars during the opening of each session will give you an idea of the direction of the session. Within the very first 15 to 20 candles, if you're using a 2 or 5 minute time frame, it will give you that idea of where the direction of the market is going. This could either be going up or it could either be going down. But within those 15 to 20 candles, if you're using the 2 minute or the 5 minute, you will know the direction within that session. So let's say a New York session, if you're catching this at the right time, you are only looking for your buys if it is a buying market. If it is a selling market, you're only looking for sales if it's a selling market. After that, you want to wait on a strong bull or bear reaction to take out previous lows or take out previous highs to understand which direction market will head. Okay, now step 2 is identify the range. Knowing what is the highest point and the lowest point of the range. Remember what I said earlier, that you can identify this within 5 to 20 candles of the direction first. And once you identify if it's an uptrend, then you only look for buy signals. If you identify as a downtrend, you look for sell signals. If it's going sideways, that would be something completely different. But just to sum it up, you're only looking for up or down. Sideways, you don't take any trades at all. This became the highest point of the range after it broke the previous low. So notice right here, this is my previous low. We basically took that out with this beautiful huge displacement. Remember, this is the shift change of the market we talked about in our previous video. And then also we have this became the lowest point of the range after it broke previous highs. So this right here was our most recent high, and then the market created this drop. This became our lowest point of the market at that time after it took out this high. So this now marks that this is my A point, and this now marks this is my B point. Now, if you look here, you will see that the London session opening, New York London session, and we identify 18 to 20 candles in. We realized that this market was a strong seller's market. So I'm only interested in selling opportunities. So this makes it way easier for me to identify. After I establish that, the next thing is looking for the range. Remember, you always want to pay attention to the most recent lows or the lows that the candles took out. So we see we had a displacement, a shift in the market that created that engulfing candle, which then identified this was our A point. And then we had our high right here that basically took that out with that swing move and identified our B point. This is where we draw out our fibs to get the accuracy. And depending on how you guys look at this, there's a couple ways to trade it. But the first process is looking at the fibs to get your take profit market, which is known as your P&L or known as your P and H. You see market shows strong buyers within the 15 to 20 minute candle bar. Instantly seeing buying market from the New York opening London session. We're basically waiting once again on market to pull back. And then once market pulls back, we're grabbing our fibs to draw out that potential new low and that potential new high. So now you guys seeing the setup. Now let's talk about how this works in the actual live market. First things, we need our indicators. So we're going to come to indicator and we're going to grab all of our indicators. We're going to get our EMA. We need 2 EMAs. So I need you guys to make sure you search up EMA and get both of the EMAs. After you get that, the next one is you want to grab is the FXAN Indicator. How you get that is go down below, check the link out, get the 30-day free trial. And then once you get the invitation sent to you, which you will see in your email, you can come into TradingView, go to indicators, and then come to invite only. And then from invite only, you want to select day trading. And that is all we're going to be grabbing. Now let's get into the format of finding the P&Ls first before we get into anything else. So on an hourly time frame or the 4-hour time frame, you always want to identify the biggest range because you want to know the biggest scope. It's like if you're dropped off at a forest and they just blindfolded you and basically unblindfolded you the moment you landed in this forest, you have no damn clue where you're at. All you know is you just see a bunch of trees throughout this entire fucking jungle that you might think you're in, and you're just sitting here trying to figure out ways to navigate around this. Now, the way I like to analyze this and paint this in your mind is, let's say you were given a drone and a remote for the drone. What you're going to do simply is let this drone fly all the way up. And what that is in the market is you're going on the highest time frame and you're mapping out where you're at. You notice the moment you flew it all the way up, straight up, you're in the middle of this forest. So now you're like, I can either go east, south, or west. And I see going north is a highway. Going south is nothing. Going east is a highway. And going west is a highway. You know where you're at now. That is the exact same thing you're going to do on a 1-hour or 4-hour scale. You want to see the overall scope so you know where you need to go or where you believe the market is going to go. So we're going to use our P&L as an example. And if you guys look right here, we're going to map out this being our lowest point at the given moment, and we're going to map out this being our lowest point at the given moment. All we're identifying is the moment market breaks past this low with a huge displacement, I'm interested in knowing this is being my A point, which is my starting point of this whole trend. And that's all you need. After that had established, I am now mapping out my lows and my internal highs. So I see this isn't high, this isn't high, this is a high, this is a high, and this is a high. So I'm just mapping out all of my internal highs. Now let's pay attention to what is happening now. Notice we broke our high here with displacement candles. So now I'm going to use this as a level as drawing out my fibs. So what we're going to do is take our Fibonacci from A to B and we're going to draw it out. Now, if you don't have these fib settings, you can go ahead and pause this video now and you can grab these fib settings right here. But there's 3 fib levels you're going to focus on, which is the negative 0.27, the negative 0.618, and then the negative 1.272. The negative 1.272 is going to be your extreme point for news events. If a news was to ever occur or some big event, this is usually where market is coming down to before it actually makes the reversal, not these 2 levels. Or it's going to come in between the negative 618 and the news event level, which is the negative 1272. So if we draw out our fibs from our A point, which is from here, to our B point, which is from here, going to extend this out, you now see my P&L level is right here. Let's say we didn't have any news events. I am looking for it to tap into some of these levels here. Now, keep in mind, it's never going to be spot on, but this is your idea of a valid level. I use this in so many different ways. Let's say you trade supply and demand, or let's say you even trade support and resistance, and all you have in your charts is a bunch of lines. And you're like, I don't know what level is going to be more respected than the other level. I just know I got a louder support and resistance levels. This used to be me when I was a beginner trader. Let's say you have a lot of major key levels, a lot of imbalance levels, a lot of supply demand levels, and you don't know what level is what. All you have to do is play connect the levels. If you look left and you notice this is a supply and demand level and you're like, this aligns with this P&L, that is a level you should pay attention to. Ignore everything else because it's not accurate. This is the most accurate and the most valid level that is going to give you probably the answer to what you're looking for So use this level instead of the other 3 or the other 5. That is how you can use this PNL and PNH strategy to the full extent. That's just one out of many ways. After we establish this, I now have in my head that if market taps into this PNL, I'm expecting a reversal. So I can now do this another scenario. The other scenario is, yes, you can get in a trade, sell it down here. But as you guys see, we didn't do that because we didn't trade the market then. We traded here. But you can now use this as leverage to identify this is a reversal in the market, guys. This is where I'm looking for the reversal in the market. That's another way. Now, if you guys want to refine this a lot more, you then use pivot points. Pivot points is the key element to a bigger reversal in the market. Pivot point, I like to look at it as wicks. I'm looking at where most of my wicks is getting tapped and hit multiple times, and I am just refining it and refining it. So if we look left, you see that we have a wick here. We have this wick been tapped as resistance. We have this wick been tapped as support. There's a lot of great stuff that's happening here. And then we look right, we see we have a level here and a level here. This is literally where we was at yesterday trading this market. So we're just going to stop it right here. I want to remove this. So now I know more in depth about this area because now it's telling me something about this area. Expect some aggressive sell, meaning that either if it drops, I'm expecting price to really drop with huge engulfing candles known as displacement, known as the shift change in the market, or I'm going to either see a lot of rejections, but it's tapping in the same area and it's just mitigating all of these levels all at the same time. And then eventually it's going to get us that reversal that we've been looking for, or that can happen. Regardless, I know a big aggressive move is not bound to happen here. So I put that into my strategy and then I take that theory and I run with it. Now, what we're going to start doing is refining our entries because now we know the overall roadmap, when we should be getting in the trade, or we know when to get out the trade. We also know the valid key levels, which is supply, demand, support, and resistance. And we have an idea of where the reversal can happen. So we have a lot of the scope of what's going on. Now, this is where we take out our indicators. So we're going to use the EMAs to give us our entries. And then we're going to use the FXAN to give us a more valid entry and a more secure entry. So let's start off with the EMAs and then we're going to work with the FXAN indicator. So the first thing we're looking for is wicks. So I now know this is an area of reversal. This is the time I got into the market. So I'm asking myself, where is a large wick that hasn't been tapped yet? I look left, I see we have it here. This is pretty much it based off of the 5-minute time frame. And let me see if I can go back to the 15-minute. How accurate is it? Here we go. So on the 15-minute time frame, we also have an accurate wick. So I know the market needs to tap this area because this is the level of where buyers and sellers are ready to execute with their limiting orders or ready to buy into the market, sell into the market. This is just all pending orders, limit orders is left here. So seeing that that is already established here, I'm easily now going on a 5-minute time frame to start fine-tuning my strategy. So remember what I said, range, 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 range. It's finding your range, finding your range, is finding your range. This is all key elements to trading. So now we're going to use our white EMA, which is the 9 EMA for the setup for our entry. Within that, we want to be careful because we also want to pay close attention to the stop loss. We want to know, as long as we can get the market to tap as close as we can to the most recent low, this is where we want to then look for that entry breaking out of the 9 EMA. And when that happens, we're going to go ahead and buy into the market. So after we get that, we then draw out our fibs from the A point to the B point, which is from here to here. And then we look and we see once again, this is so accurate, where the supply level, demand level, order block level, the valid level is. And as you guys see, this is a valid level because our fibs is aligning perfectly with our order block, our mitigation level, however you guys look at this, but it is aligning perfectly with our P&L level. So I now know ideally this is 100% where market is bound to hit to give me some sort of reversal. And another thing before I think I was getting to the market, I noticed my 113 EMA was even set here, which gives me an indication that once it usually taps these levels because it acts as magnets, it's just a potential reversal for sure, or a lot of rejection. So that is that. Now, let's say you want an extra confirmation. This is where you can now pull out the FXAN indicator. So I have my settings set here to custom. I did a couple of tweaks to it, but what I want you guys to pay close attention to here is making sure you always have your bar colors on. You also want to check the bearish volume zone 2, the bullish volume zone 2, the bearish volume zone 1, bullish volume zone 1, and then point of control. Point of control is literally going to be your magnet in identifying more accuracy in the market. Now, everything else, you can leave it how it is. Everything else really doesn't matter. So this is where it gets really interesting. You can use this FXAN for a couple of things. One is being entries and one is being exits. Now, of course, I got in a very aggressive entry, so the FXAN unfortunately did not catch this entry model. That is completely fine. We're actually going to use this to identify the momentum weakness in the market. This is my key indicator. Part of the FXAN here is the signs of weakness that we're going to be using. The moment I start to see less redding, the darker the red, the more momentum it is. Less red, less momentum, which gives me another indication that there's potentially about to be a shift in the market. We started getting that right here. So the moment I start seeing that, that is another sign for me to go ahead and look for the entry on top of everything else I just mentioned. So if we get a green, which usually a green would not occur until after the fact, so we might already be late into the market, so that's why I'm not too worried about it. But we're paying attention to the light red and light green. So even if the market was coming from a very bright green and then getting light, that is another sign to enter quicker for aggressive entries. But you're only doing that after we establish everything else. You don't just do it with this. That's not the whole game plan here. As you see, it went light red and it still went back to red. We're only using this the right way. So that little thing of momentum, that's why you guys see my charts is pretty much, it doesn't have as much when it came to the settings and the style, just because I'm paying attention to a few things. But one of the main things is paying attention to the momentum. So once again, light red gives you a clear indication that this is the potential reversal to happen, which gives you more confirmations and more confidence to get in the setup. And that is exactly what ended up happening here. Now, if you pay another close attention to a trade that I actually got in earlier, this was this trade I took earlier. And this trade was taken based off the FXAN because everything clicked. We had a green candle. It broke past my white EMA, broke past my blue EMA, broke past my yellow magnet point of control. And based off the 1 hour time frame, we had a large wick that needed to get mitigated. So I had all intuitions about this trade. And as you guys see, this is the trade that made me $11 off this account. And now we're up at about $22 in profit, which is pretty darn good in my opinion. Now, how I spotted my range for this is, once again, the pivot point was here. So I already knew this could be the potential reversal that we was looking for. So I'm looking for a market to actually break the other way instead of going down. So I'm drawing out my highs, which is here. So we had a high here. We had a high here, a high here, and essentially a high here. All I'm looking for is where is the most recent high of price breaking, and that was this one right here, this high. So now this marks as my A point, and then now if we look again, let's start mapping out our lows. This is a low here, and a low here. We broke through this low with this candle right here, so guess what? This became my B point. So now I'm going to draw out my fibs from here to here, because this is the A and this is the B. And if you guys look left, once again, market tapped perfectly into our P&L, which this is why I had my take profit roughly around here, because my P&L was here. And as you see, that is the money I made off of that trade. And that's the reason why I got into that trade, trading US 30. All right, so now you see everything about the strategy that you need to know. If you guys are interested in journaling everything, like I said, use Board Funded to get the trading journal, analyze your trades, know what strategy is what, know what's the best days, and so much more. And on top of that, you can use the AI. If you ever want to grow a small account, you can actually grow a small account with Hanko X. It's really good with low spreads, low speeds, and all of the above. So check them out as well. Now, if you guys like these type of videos and want more like this, once again, comment down below what are you struggling in, so I can go ahead and create that video and give you guys some insights on that. But other than that, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be going live and doing live streaming to show you guys pretty much my process on my small account growth from $100 to $100,000, and we're doing that all via live stream. So appreciate y'all, your boy Solo checking out. See you guys on the next video. Peace.